She asked, "I came for you, human. Why didn't you reach out?" Commander Alex Renner sat alone on the observation deck of the Aurora Dawn, staring into the endless black of space. The stars stretched in every direction, sparkling like diamonds scattered across a velvet cloth. It was beautiful, but tonight it felt empty. Humanity had spread across dozens of star systems, yet Alex felt as though something important was missing. Something had been calling, though he didn't know what it was. The hum of the ship's engines was the only sound, a constant reminder of the isolation of deep space travel. Alex's mission was simple: monitor uncharted systems for resources, ensure the safety of human colonies, and report anomalies. But tonight, something unusual interrupted the monotony. The ship's communication console blinked with an unknown signal. The screen displayed strange symbols at first, but then a pattern emerged, almost like a language. Alex's heart skipped a beat. He hadn't seen anything like this in decades of space exploration. He tapped the console, initiating a decoding sequence. The symbols twisted and shifted, forming words in basic English. "Why didn't you reach out?" Alex leaned back in his chair, blinking. He read the message again. It felt like a whisper from the universe itself. It wasn't just a random signal, it was personal. How could a message like this find him? He wasn't expecting contact, and humanity had not yet met any intelligent alien species openly. He ran his fingers through his hair and rubbed his eyes, thinking it must be a glitch. Yet the screen continued to hum softly, repeating the question, and now a small star map appeared, showing a location far beyond known space. Alex's curiosity overpowered his caution. He knew he had to investigate. He opened a secure channel to Mission Control, hoping to get confirmation or instructions. "Control, this is Renner. I'm receiving a signal, coordinates included. The message. It's asking why we didn't reach out. I need instructions. Over." Static filled the line, then a strained voice finally responded. "Renner, we see the signal. It's unusual. We advise caution. Do not approach the system without backup. Repeat, do not engage directly." Alex frowned. Caution was always the human default, but something inside him screamed that this was not an ordinary anomaly. He tapped his finger on the map, studying the system. The coordinates led to an uncharted star cluster at the edge of human exploration. The stars there glowed faintly, surrounded by clouds of cosmic dust. He made his decision. He would go. If someone or something was reaching out, humanity had to answer, even if it meant going alone. Within hours, Alex prepared the Aurora Dawn for deep space travel. The ship's engines roared to life, shaking the deck slightly as the crew prepared for warp. Alex didn't have a crew with him this time. He wanted this to be personal, a direct response to the mysterious message. He engaged the warp drive, feeling the familiar tug as stars stretched and blurred around him. Time seemed to bend, yet he felt a strange calm, as if the universe itself was holding its breath. After what felt like hours, Alex emerged near the coordinates. The view on the observation deck was breathtaking. A dying star pulsed faintly, its red light casting eerie shadows across floating asteroid belts. And there it was, a massive ship unlike anything humans had ever built. Its hull shimmered like liquid crystal, and it hovered silently as if waiting. No engines, no lights, just a presence that filled the space around it. Alex's pulse quickened. He activated the ship's long-range scanner. The readings were strange. No recognizable energy source, no weapon systems, no identifiable materials by human standards. It was alive, in some sense, responding to his presence. The star map from the message had led him here for a reason. Then a voice echoed in his mind, clear and calm. "I have waited." Alex froze, looking around the cockpit. The communication console didn't show any incoming signals, yet the words were undeniable. Who is this?" he whispered aloud. "I am Lyria," the voice continued. "I came for you, human. Why didn't you reach out?" Alex's mind raced. The voice was not spoken aloud, it was in his thoughts, but it carried emotion. Sadness, hope, and a gentle reproach all at once. He swallowed hard. I don't understand. Who are you? What is this? I am Elythian, the voice said. We tried to reach humanity long ago. You never answered. Now you are here. Alex struggled to process the words. The Elythians were an ancient alien race, whispered about in myths and classified reports, but no human had ever confirmed their existence, until now. He felt a mix of fear and awe. He initiated a docking protocol, approaching the massive Elythian ship carefully. The exterior shimmered, almost as if it recognized him. No doors opened, no sounds were emitted, yet a subtle force seemed to guide his ship closer. The moment he docked, a passageway appeared, illuminated by soft blue light that seemed to flow like water. He stepped inside cautiously, his hand on the side of his ship as if bracing for the unknown. The interior of the Elythian vessel was like nothing Alex had imagined. It was vast and open, with walls that appeared organic, pulsing gently as if alive. Light flowed through the surfaces in patterns, creating shapes that hinted at landscapes, oceans, and skies. The air was breathable, though Alex didn't understand how, and then he saw her, Lyria. She stood tall, almost ethereal, with shimmering skin that reflected the ambient light. Her eyes were large and luminous, filled with intelligence and an emotion Alex could not name. Her form was humanoid, yet undeniably alien. He felt a mixture of fear and wonder. You came, Lyria said, her voice resonating in his mind again. I waited for centuries, human. You could have ignored us like your ancestors, but you came. Alex swallowed hard. I didn't know you were waiting, I just followed the message. That message, she said, stepping closer, was a bridge. You humans never built bridges before. You hesitated. You feared the unknown, but now you are here, and I see courage. Alex felt a lump in his throat. I don't know what to do. Why me? Why now? Lyria's gaze softened. Because you are willing to listen, to act, to step forward when others would hide. That is the strength of your species, human. You have a choice, to continue as you are, or to join us and learn what you were always meant to become. The words filled Alex with a strange warmth. Humanity had always dreamed of reaching the stars, but now it felt like the stars had reached back. He could almost feel the pulse of the Elythian ship, a heartbeat that matched his own. This was not just an encounter, it was an invitation, a challenge, and a promise. But as awe and wonder filled him, a warning signal sounded in his mind, an echo of human caution. Humanity had been reckless before, making enemies without knowing them. Alex took a deep breath. He had to choose carefully. Trust, yes, but understanding too. He had to know what he was stepping into. Come, Lyria said, extending a hand not in demand but an invitation. Walk with me. Learn. See what humanity could be and what we can be together. Alex hesitated, then placed his hand in hers. The moment contact was made, a wave of knowledge, emotion, and memory flowed into him, not overwhelming but enlightening. Images of Elythian history, their achievements, their failures, and their attempts to guide humanity filled his mind. He felt centuries of patience and hope, and a gentle sadness that humans had ignored the opportunity. We waited, she said softly. But now perhaps it is not too late. Alex nodded, feeling the weight of the moment. This was more than a personal journey. This was the beginning of a bridge between two civilizations. The path ahead was uncertain, but for the first time, he felt that humanity had a real chance to reach the stars not alone, but together. As they walked deeper into the Elythian ship, Alex noticed that the walls changed to show landscapes, civilizations, and star systems he had never seen. Lyria explained that the visuals were representations of knowledge, of possibilities, of potential. Everything the Elythians had learned over millennia was encoded here, waiting for a species ready to understand. Alex realized that he was not just exploring a ship, he was exploring a possibility. Humanity could rise, evolve, and connect in ways it had never imagined. And he was standing at the threshold. Hours passed, though it felt like minutes. Lyria showed him how the Elythians observed humanity, guiding subtly from afar, waiting for the moment someone would answer their call. Alex listened, absorbed, and felt a renewed sense of purpose. His mission had changed. He was no longer just a scout. He was a bridge, a first step in a story far larger than himself. As the first part of this journey closed, Alex looked out through a shimmering wall that acted as a window to space. The blackness was no longer empty. Stars danced with promise, and in the distance, he thought he saw other Elythian ships, silent and patient, waiting for humanity's reply. He felt the weight of centuries of missed opportunities, but also the spark of what was possible. "I came for you," Lyria whispered in his mind once more. "Why didn't you reach out?" But this time, Alex knew the answer. He had reached out, and the journey had only just begun. Alex Renner followed Lyria deeper into the Elythian ship, feeling both awe and unease. The walls shifted fluidly, showing glimpses of distant worlds and civilizations he could only dream of. He realized that this was more than a ship. It was a library of a civilization, alive and aware. Every pulse of light and color seemed to speak to him, yet he couldn't understand everything. Lyria noticed his hesitation. "Do not fear, human. The ship adapts to you. It is patient. It is waiting for humanity's willingness to understand." Alex nodded, though he felt a strange mix of excitement and doubt. How could humanity ever hope to match a race so advanced, so patient, and so observant? But as he watched the shifting images of stars and planets, he began to see patterns. The Elythians had been guiding species across the galaxy for eons, helping them avoid extinction and grow into something greater. And now they had come to humanity. "Why now?" Alex asked aloud. "Why me?" Lyria's form shimmered, almost like a ripple in water. "Because you are willing to answer. Others might not have, or might have turned away in fear. You seek understanding, and that is rare in your species." They reached a chamber filled with hovering spheres of light. Each orb displayed a scene from human history, great achievements, moments of compassion, acts of bravery, but also conflicts, wars, and errors. Alex watched, captivated. The Elythians had been observing, waiting for humans to show signs of growth and responsibility. "We watched your ancestors," Lyria said, her voice echoing gently in his mind. "We tried to guide you to show paths to the stars, but humanity hesitated. You feared what you did not understand. Yet here you are." Alex swallowed. He felt both pride and shame. The question in the first message, "Why didn't you reach out?" now carried centuries of history with it. Humanity had waited, struggled, and stumbled. Now they had an opportunity. Lyria led him further, showing him Elythian technology in action. Devices that could manipulate energy, heal injuries, and store vast amounts of knowledge filled the space. Alex touched one carefully, feeling a warmth that was almost like a heartbeat. The ship itself was alive, responsive, and gentle. It was as if it recognized the value of humans, or at least the potential they could have. "This is just a glimpse," Lyria explained. "We can teach you, but only if humanity is ready. You must choose to listen, to understand, to act with responsibility." Alex nodded, realizing the weight of her words. This wasn't a gift, it was a test. Could humanity rise to the challenge? Could they prove worthy of Elythian knowledge and guidance? Suddenly, the ship trembled slightly. A red alert blinked in Alex's mind. He turned to Lyria. "What's happening?" "A human fleet approaches," she said calmly. "They do not know of us. They fear what they do not understand." Alex's heart pounded. He realized that his actions had consequences. If the wrong humans found this ship, it could lead to conflict, destruction, or mistrust. He had to act quickly. "Can we hide?" he asked. "We can, but they are persistent," Lyria replied. "We must show them that humanity can choose differently." Alex considered the fleet. These were human ships, armed and cautious, scanning the area for threats. He understood their fear. They had no knowledge of the Alithians, but he also knew that fighting would be a mistake. Trust had to come first, even if it was dangerous. "Then we show them," he said, determination in his voice. Lyria nodded, and together they moved to the observation deck. Alex projected a signal to the approaching fleet, displaying images of peace, cooperation, and knowledge. Lyria added a subtle energy signature that reassured the humans. Slowly, the fleet began to halt, their ships hovering cautiously. A voice came over the comms. "Commander Renner, what are you doing?" It was his former captain, Commander Hales. Alex replied quickly, explaining that this was a chance to meet an advanced civilization, a chance for humanity to rise. The fleet hesitated, uncertainty in their voices. Alex realized that this was the turning point. Humanity's future depended not just on bravery, but on communication, understanding, and trust. Hours passed, and slowly, the fleet lowered their defenses. Alex guided them through a controlled approach, allowing them to witness the Alithian ship safely. Lyria communicated silently, showing that their intentions were peaceful. The humans saw the beauty and the intelligence of the Alithians, and for the first time, fear gave way to wonder. Alex felt a sense of relief, but also responsibility. This was only the beginning. Humanity had made the first contact, but they had to prove that they could grow, learn, and cooperate. Lyria turned to him, her eyes filled with what he could only describe as hope. "You have done well," she said, "but the path ahead is not easy. There will be challenges, skepticism, and fear. Humanity must rise above these if it is to join the greater civilizations of the galaxy." Alex nodded, feeling the weight of the responsibility. He had taken the first step, but the journey was far from over. He looked at the human fleet, then back at Lyria and the Alithian ship. The possibilities were endless, but so were the dangers. Still, he felt hope that humanity could answer the call, and that the question of the signal, "Why didn't you reach out?" would have an answer this time. The Alithian ship began to share more of its knowledge with Alex, teaching him about faster-than-light navigation, energy manipulation, and advanced communication. Every lesson was carefully calibrated, showing both the power and responsibility that came with it. Alex absorbed it eagerly, understanding that this knowledge could change the course of human history. As night fell over the distant star cluster, Alex sat on the observation deck, staring at the stars. Lyria's words echoed in his mind, a reminder that patience and understanding were as important as courage and curiosity. Humanity had taken its first step, and he was determined to guide them forward. The parting message of the Alithians was simple: "We are here. We have waited. The choice is yours." Alex felt the weight of history, the hope of the future, and the stirring of something greater than himself. Humanity was ready to rise, and he was ready to lead the way. In the silence of space, Alex made a silent promise. He would not fail. He would ensure that humanity reached out, answered the call, and proved that they were ready to stand among the stars. And with Lyria by his side, guiding him, he believed that they could succeed. Commander Alex Renner stood on the observation deck of the Alithian ship, looking at the human fleet slowly moving in formation. The ships, once cautious and tense, now radiated a sense of awe. Humans had seen something extraordinary, something beyond their imagination. Yet, Alex knew the real challenge was just beginning. Understanding was only the first step. Now humanity had to rise to its potential. Lyria approached him, her luminous eyes reflecting the distant stars. "They have witnessed, they have seen, but action will prove the truth of your species. You must lead them." Alex nodded. He had spent centuries, in a sense, studying history and knowledge through the Alithian ship, but leadership was not just about knowledge. It was about choices, responsibility, and courage. Humanity needed to understand that cooperation with another civilization was not a threat, but an opportunity. "What must I do?" Alex asked. "Show them your spirit. Let them see humanity's capacity for courage, unity, and wisdom." And protect this alliance, even from those who would resist, Lyria said. As Alex prepared a message to the fleet, a sudden alert caught his attention. Sensors indicated a rogue human faction, a group opposed to contact with aliens, was approaching at high speed, armed and ready to attack. Panic rippled through Alex. The Elythian ship was peaceful, but humans did not understand that. Violence could destroy centuries of hope in an instant. We cannot allow them to strike, Alex said firmly. Then we must defend, but not with aggression. Show them reason, Lyria replied. Together they devised a plan. The Elythian ship projected a display of light and energy, forming a visual barrier between the fleet and the rogue ships. Alex transmitted calm, clear messages, urging them to halt and listen. The rogue faction hesitated, their sensors detecting no threat yet feeling the overwhelming presence of something far beyond their comprehension. Alex's words carried both authority and empathy. We are not your enemies. There is a chance for understanding, for knowledge, and for growth. Do not let fear guide your actions. Minutes stretched like hours, but slowly, the rogue ships powered down their weapons, aligning with the rest of the fleet. It was a tense moment, but humanity had taken its first true step toward unity. Alex exhaled, realizing the power of patience, communication, and courage. Lyria's voice flowed into his mind, gentle but proud. You have shown humanity can choose differently. This is the beginning of something great. Alex guided the fleet closer to the Elythian ship. Scientists, explorers, and leaders on board the human vessels witnessed the advanced technology, the harmony of the living ship, and the calm yet powerful presence of Lyria. Their skepticism turned to wonder, and their fear melted into curiosity. Over the following days, Alex facilitated learning sessions. Elythian technology and philosophy were shared carefully. Humans learned advanced methods of energy manipulation, star mapping, and interstellar travel. Every lesson emphasized responsibility and the ethical use of power. Knowledge without wisdom is dangerous, Lyria told them. Use these gifts to build, to explore, and to protect. Do not repeat the mistakes of the past. As the fleet absorbed the lessons, Alex reflected on humanity's journey. They had been cautious, often self-centered but capable of courage and empathy. Today, they had faced the unknown and chosen trust over fear. That choice defined the species, not merely their strength or technology. However, challenges remained. Not all humans agreed. Political leaders debated the legitimacy of the Elythian contact. Some questioned if this was a trap. Alex faced countless meetings and discussions, advocating for openness, collaboration, and forward thinking. He spoke passionately, drawing on his experiences aboard the Elythian ship, showing the benefits of cooperation, and emphasizing the potential for advancement. Slowly, humanity began to adapt. Colonies received Elythian guidance in sustainable technologies. Exploration missions expanded with new, faster-than-light techniques. Communication networks were upgraded to handle interstellar messages instantaneously. Humanity's growth accelerated at an unprecedented pace, yet Alex reminded everyone that responsibility must guide this progress. One quiet evening, Alex returned to the observation deck with Lyria. Stars glimmered like scattered jewels, but now they felt different, closer, reachable, full of promise. He felt a deep sense of accomplishment but also understood that vigilance was necessary. You have led well, Alex Renner, Lyria said, but humanity's journey is just beginning. Many tests will come and choices must be made with care, Alex nodded. I understand, but for the first time I feel humans are ready. They have taken a step into the galaxy not out of fear but out of hope. Hope is powerful, Lyria replied. It can bridge worlds, heal wounds, and inspire greatness. Your species has shown it is capable of hope. Now it is time to nurture it. As days turned into weeks, humanity continued to rise. The alliance with the Elythians strengthened. Scientists and explorers shared knowledge, forming teams that spanned multiple star systems. Colonies thrived with advanced energy systems and sustainable methods. Diplomacy and understanding became priorities in human politics. The species learned that cooperation, not competition, could drive true advancement. Alex watched young explorers embark on their first missions beyond the edge of known space, armed not with weapons of destruction, but tools of knowledge and discovery. He felt pride in their courage, remembering the question that had started it all. Why didn't you reach out? Now humanity had answered. Years later, humanity became recognized among other advanced civilizations. They no longer feared the unknown, instead they embraced it. The lessons from the Alithians guided them, but it was human courage, curiosity, and hope that defined their rise. Alex continued to serve as a bridge, ensuring that trust, wisdom, and responsibility were never forgotten. In a final moment aboard the Alithian ship, Alex looked out at the stars, feeling the pulse of life around him. Lyria appeared beside him, her presence calm and radiant. "You see, Alex," she said softly, "humanity has reached out. You answered the call. Now the galaxy will remember that courage and understanding can shape the future." Alex smiled, feeling the weight and joy of what had been accomplished. "We did reach out," he replied, "and we will continue to reach further together." The Alithian ship shimmered, as if acknowledging the truth in his words. Alex knew that this was only the beginning of humanity's journey, but the first steps had been taken. The stars were no longer distant, they were within reach. And humanity had finally answered, proving that courage, hope, and understanding could shape the destiny of a species. As Alex stood on the observation deck, looking out into the endless expanse of space, he knew one thing. The universe had waited patiently, and now humanity was ready to step forward. The question that had started it all, "Why didn't you reach out?" had finally been answered. And the answer would echo across the stars for generations to come.